Rebecca, Rebecca's nurse, and Renee. Rebecca's nurse, Deborah, in the Bible, and Rebecca's nurse in the Crucible archetypes for Renee Nicole Good. You have had your chance to think about it. I sent out that question earlier. Now I'm asking you to consider what I think. Then join me in doing something about it. Jacob and his company arrived at Luz, that is Bethel, in the land of Canaan. He built an altar there and named it El Bethel, God of Bethel, because that's where God revealed himself to him when he was running from his brother. And that's when Rebecca's nurse, Deborah, died. She was buried just below Bethel under the oak tree. It was named Alan Bakuth, weeping oak. Genesis 35, 6 to 8. Rebecca's nurse, Deborah, is Rebecca's wet nurse. Yanak, the Hebrew word translated as nurse, means to suck, to nurse, to draw milk. Deborah serves Abraham and Sarah's family by breastfeeding Rebecca in her infancy. Then Deborah mothers Rebecca throughout her life. Deborah is a servant. Deborah is more than a servant. So after Jacob goes back to Bethel, the house of God, he buries Deborah beneath Alan Bakuth, a weeping oak. First Sarah, Genesis 23:19, then Abraham, Genesis 25:9 to 10, then Rebecca's nurse, Genesis 35:8. Jacob reveres Rebecca's nurse. Jacob honors her by burying her at the foot of a tree near the place called Bethel, where he encounters God, a topic worthy of another Substack. Rebecca's nurse has a name. Her death is grieved by Abraham's descendants. Rebecca, knee town nurse, has a name too. Rebecca's nurse dies, so does Rebecca Nurse. Rebecca Nurse lives from February 13th, 1621 to July 19th, 1692. She is a historical person, as is Deborah, Rebecca's nurse. She is accused of witchcraft and executed by hanging in New England during the Salem witch trials of 1692. She is fully exonerated less than 20 years later. She was the wife of Francis Nurse and had several children. Rebecca was a well-respected member of the community. She was tried and convicted in the spring and summer of 1692 and executed on July 19th. Her character gets captured in Arthur Miller's The Crucible. She appears as a saintly, grandmotherly character in the play. Her character stands in stark contrast to the characters of the hysterical young girls and the sinister and angry Putnam. At the beginning of the play, Rebecca Nurse warns Parson Paris that looking for witchcraft in the girls will not end well. She claims the troubles with the girls, Betty and Ruth, will pass. In fact, when the nurse enters Betty's room, no one has been able to get through to the girls. Rebecca hasn't lost any of her children to death. Her accusers, however, has lost many of hers. In resentment, she accuses Rebecca Nurse of killing her children through witchcraft. Rebecca Nurse hangs for it, along with John Proctor, Martha Corey, and others as victims of the false witchcraft accusations in Salem. Despite her strong reputation as a pious and sensible woman, she is convicted due to the girl's fits and spectral evidence representing the height of the court's injustice. She maintains her faith and dignity, telling John Proctor, "Let you fear nothing. Another judgment awaits us all. The arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice." Rebecca Nurse, 20 years after her death, gets justice. In Miller's play, each character endures their own crucible, a severe test or trial. In Trump's America, we find ourselves once again crucibled. Today, it's not a spurned Abigail joined by young girls acting out in courts. It is Donald Trump creating hysteria on Truth Social. It is not one small town, it is one great nation now pitted against one another. Every single one of us has been and will be impacted by the hysteria that our president is creating. Pastors and parishioners, townsfolk and city folk, young and old, judges and juries. What we say, what we do, will either cause more people to die or more people to live. We will either spread the lies or speak the truth. Nurse Rebecca, before being hanged herself, sees John Proctor going to the gallows. When given the opportunity to ask him to lie in order to save his life, she responds, "He has his goodness now. God forbid that I take it from him." I wonder if the same could be said of Renee. I wonder if the same will one day be said of me too.